Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is Monday, the 28th of June, and the market is powering higher, especially the Nasdaq. So that's pretty exciting. That's pretty exciting stuff going on right now on the Nasdaq, and we have interesting trade for everybody that's in our. I have a little bit of a bandwidth issue here. Hold on one second. Let's see. There we go. Okay, we have a very interesting trade on Nvidia that we just are going to get ready to put out. So if you're interested in this trade and you're not on the action trade alerts, just what you need to do is go to www.sendfox.com/Dallas Trading Floor. And of course, if you're looking at me on a TikTok, super easy. All you have to do is go to go to my profile, click the link, first and last name, and we should be able to get going on that. So, really interesting trade on Nvidia that let's go over it right now, just for everybody that is looking on the that's in the Discord room right now. This, I just sent the link over to the people that are in the Discord room, but I just kind of want to maybe just kind of run through it really quickly, just kind of show you kind of what's going on there and kind of how it's looking. So let me put this trade up here in just a second, and I'm going to go through this right now on the chat. So I mean, right now on this. So I'm going to open this and I'm just going to go through this and sort of how it works here in just a second. So let me go ahead and get that up here. And let's see, there we go, Nvidia Trade. Okay, super. All right, so let me go ahead and put that up on the screen for everybody. Let's go to the share. Come on, baby. There we go. And by the way, for everybody looking on TikTok, this is available right now on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor, you will basically see this, but unfortunately you can't see it unless you're on the YouTube feed. So let me just kind of go through this this trade. It's kind of interesting trade. It's called a butterfly trade, and basically what it does is it limits. It gives you kind of the it kind of gives you, if it's going to be trading within a certain range, it's going to give you a kind of a good result. Here's kind of how it works. Basically, with this, the way I adjusted this one is buying the 16 July 765 call, and the price I got this morning on this was $48.49 for a total of $4,859. And then I simultaneously sold the 815 call for 2018, and I received this much money, $4,036. And then I also bought, sort of for the upper end, an 855 call for 872. So most of the money probably in this one is going to be made in the 765 call, and I just kind of want to show you the payout chart on it. Let me go to that. This is the sort of the payout chart, and what this represents here for everybody is basically based on the price of the stock. Now I anticipate Nvidia moving from about 800 on up here to about 840 by the time it splits. By the time it splits 4 for 1, and that's going to happen on July 19th. So basically the sweet spot right here is about 820, 824. As you can see, if you do this trade, there is a chance of as much as about a $3,200 profit, but more than likely I will take a 80% profit on this if this works. So this is kind of how it all comes out. Now here's how to open the trade. Of course, I went through that. And then also I have how to close the trade. That's very, very important. So when you're getting ready to close the trade, you kind of look to see on the X and the Y axis kind of where it's at. This is the day. This is going to be on the X axis and then the Y axis. I mean on the the Y axis, and then the X axis is going to be the price. So right now Nvidia is trading up in the 800 range, so we could just go to that price. when you kind of hover over this, and I don't know if you can see this here, you'll see this little number on. Click on that, and that will give you how to close the trade. So this is how you open the trade, and then this is how you close the trade. So in this case, because we've only been doing it one day, we're only up $59. So this is how you would close the trade. And if you want to get more information on that, super easy to do. Just go to this link, Nvidia Butterfly Trade. Now, of course, this is available, of course, to our people on the Action Trade Alerts. I'm going to put this out tonight on the Action Trade Alerts, but in order to get on this, you gotta be registered by tonight at www.sinfox.com/Dell's Trading Floor. Now, if you're on the TikTok, super easy to get on this. Just go to the link, click the link, and I will be putting this up as a trade for tonight. So that's kind of a fun thing that's going on there. So let's get into this. Let's get into the other here. Of course, I am having an issue with my video. I apologize for this. I'm going to stop the camera for just a second and give this subscribe. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go into the part of the show where we take questions from the audience. So let me click over to that, and hopefully I'm going to get over to that. There's the comments. Super great. All right. And by the way, you can easily get onto the Action Trade Alerts again by going to this number, subscribe. Free Action Trade Alerts at www.sinfox.com/Dell's Trading Floor. And so let's go into the first question. This first question is from Kate. Thank you very, very much. Let's talk a little bit about Nvidia. I agree. I think this is a super interesting stock that we could talk about, and I'm just going to bring it up on the screen. Thanks for holding here. I really appreciate it. And I had a little bit of problem with the camera, but hopefully this will work. And let's get to the Nvidia trade right now. So I'm going to go over here to the window and let's talk about Nvidia. All right. Well, basically what's happened is, as you can see, we're moving up very, very nicely. Right now, there's all kinds of volume. The volume is coming in once again, and we're on this trend. Now, with this spread trade, this butterfly trade, the reason I put it at that is because it basically, what's happening here, oops, let's get that back. Let's get the temporary line back. Oh, goodness gracious. What's happening here, and then if I could do it, is you can see Nvidia is sort of in this channel. Oops, come on. Oh, goodness. We're having issues again with the seems like the perennial issue with the with the bandwidth. So anyways, basically what's happening is, since this breakout here, Nvidia is just trading right up there. Now, we're currently at a place where you want to be starting to consider taking profits. So I do think that we're going to be, right when it splits 2 for 1 is going to be right about here. Okay, that's about July 19th. So kind of, if you can kind of imagine this going up all the way up here. Oops, let's see if I can, oh goodness, for some reason there we go. So this is going to be kind of where we're looking. So I do believe that we're going to be trading. Now it's going to jump around a little bit. By the 19th, I think we're very likely to be trading from about 800 on up to about 840. So that's going to be in this area here. I just kind of want to make an X there, kind of show it. As you can see. So this is the reason for the trade, the spread trade that I just showed you. I do believe we're going to trade up until we get to the 19th. Okay, now it's going to fluctuate, but it's going to fluctuate in this channel, as you can see. The reason right now it's trading for 789. It's up significantly today. What happened was, and I just kind of want to show you this action, on Friday it came down, it touched that channel, and then boom, it went right back up. So don't expect it to hold this maybe on Monday or Tuesday, maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday. It probably is going to go up and then pull back a little bit, but it's going to be in this channel for a while. Oops, and hopefully I'll get enough bandwidth here. So I'm anticipating that we ought to top out between about 800 and about 845. And that's the way the spread trade works, and that's the reason why I have that in there. So this is Nvidia, and I do think we're going to go higher with Nvidia. Now, what it does is it goes up to the top of the range, which it did today, about 800. Then it's going to pull back, and I do think there's enough power where it's going to go even higher. There's a lot of shakeout going on Nvidia. So that's a great question, Kate, and hopefully, if you stick around after in the chat room, I can definitely answer some more of your questions as well. So thank you very, very much for that. All right, so let's look at Plug Power and Snap. Let's look at Plug first. Let's kind of take a look at that. PLUG is the symbol for that. We're in a tight pattern with Plug, as you can see. It's kind of in this consolidation, really from about this 34.38 on down, basically here. So this is ready. This is getting ready to break out. It's not ready to go yet. We're kind of going sideways, but I do expect, with this relative strength line being at 95, I do expect it to possibly move higher. So that's something that you might want to look at. Now, I don't think that Plug is very, very well set up to buy, but I do think there is another stock that is extremely well set up to buy, and I want to show it to everybody, especially Samuel, to you, and that's Roku, R-O-K-U. I'm sure you heard of it, and it is just set up beautifully. Right now, it has reversed and it's going higher, and of course, I have a spread on this one. I do have a spread on this one, and this one is definitely moving up. It's up. The volume's off a little bit today, but it's up 2%, looking very, very nice. And I do think that we're going to see this one move actually higher. So if you're tired of Plug, maybe maybe this would work for you. Maybe Roku would work for you. This is not a bad time to be getting into Roku. The buy point on Roku is 468. We're currently at 441, so we're right below that buy point. This could be a very good entry point for Roku. And again, I have a spread on this one as well, and of course that's available to our Discord members and the special Discord. So that is also a possibility that you might want to go for Roku as well. That's just kind of looking at it that way. So let's look at Snap, and this is also Samuel's question here. Let's see SNAP to see if this makes sense. Well, okay, it's pulled back a little bit. It's getting ready. This is a better bet than Plug, to be honest with you. It's in this consolidation range, and there is a buy point on it at about 73.69. Currently, it's at 66.17. So we're a little bit shy of this. Would I buy this one now? Well, I might buy this one now. I do like this group. I do like this group. Oops, sorry, see if I can get rid of that. Okay, goodness gracious. I don't want to be going back to that one. There we go. I want to be there. We go. And Russell has a prediction for Roku tomorrow. I do think Roku is going to pull back a little bit. That's my guess on Roku. It did move up to sort of that very, very key level. Let's see if I can get my machine back up again. Goodness gracious, I'm just there. We go. Okay, so with Plug, this is better. This is I think Snap is a little bit better than Plug in terms of get into, based on what I'm seeing here. So I can't for some reason turn off my notifications. I'm just, oh goodness gracious, I can't. All right, we have a question from the Discord room. Let's see if I can go there. Let's see if I can just turn this one off. Let's see, I just got to leave that server. Okay, yeah, let's just do that for right now. Okay, great. Also, thanks for finding the value of the closing. Okay, thank you very, very much. I know that's a little bit confusing. I'm kind of going back and forth to the Discord room, so apologize for kind of being a little disconcerting here. Yeah, let's go back to the let's go back. There we go. Okay, so that's kind of what my thoughts are. I think you're better off with Snap right now. There is a buy point on it, 73.69. So I'm not as excited about Snap. I want to see it a little bit more power. All right, next question, and this is thoughts on CDEF. This is one I've been recommending. This is an oil and gas company, CDEV, and basically what this does is that it's down a little bit today, but I still think the long-term trend on this is up. I really do believe that. We did have it fall below that 10-day line. The question is, are we going to close it at this point? Well, I don't. If we bought it at the correct buy point, I don't know if we bought it at the correct buy point, which is 625. I still think it's worth being in because this group has continued to move higher. This is still the number one group out there, by the way. Even though oil is down today, this group has just been strong for quite a while. So I still think that this is worth holding into. Now, here's what I would do. I would set a stop loss on this one. I wouldn't let this one drop. Oops, come on. There we go. Bandwidth issues. I wouldn't let this one drop below the buy point 625. So I would be setting a stop loss at this point at about 625 on this one, but I do think this group is going to continue to move higher just because of the way it's looking. Okay, so let's look kind of what's going on with some of the indexes, because I think that's really important to kind of understand what's going on here today. So I'm going to look at the NASDAQ composite. The NASDAQ composite today has made an all-time high, okay? Now, it does appear like it's continuing to power up, so this is good. The volume's a little bit light, but we're up almost 1%, so this is incredible. We are above that key 14,000 level. We're at 14,497. So that is a very good thing. I just want to point that out to everybody because that is very, very important. Now, we do have a little bit of weakness in the S&P 500. This is why some of the oil stocks are not doing quite as well. But let's pull up that. Okay, very good. Yeah, it's not as powerful a move. It is moving up, but not as powerfully as the NASDAQ. So what's happening right now is we're seeing capital flow back into some of the NASDAQ, some of the big name techs really is sort of where we're seeing it. So this is kind of what I want to kind of point out to everybody. I also want to show you a stock that I have had for a while here. It's in the small portfolio. It's a Docusign, DOCU, and I want to kind of bring this one up here. It is doing extremely well, and I've had it, and it's almost at the buy point. This is one you want to probably put on your radar because I think this is buyable right now. I believe this is absolutely buyable right now. The buy point on it is 290.23, but I do think this one is going higher basically because it's pulled beyond the local high here, this 275. So Docusign, DOCU, this is one you want to kind of put on your radar screen. I think it's very worth buying. I'm going to try to put together sort of a spread trade for it because I do think this one is going higher, and that might be a good way to get exposure. It's fairly expensive in terms of the price, so that could be kind of a downer there. But I do think it is going to go higher. Docusign, DOCU, is the symbol. All right, so let's go back to the questions. Thanks again. Let's look at space. Now, I was stopped out of Virgin Galactic I was stopped out of it, SPCE, but let's take a look at it to kind of see. It's pulled back a little bit, but it's still, I was stopped out at 53. Here's the thing with space. I do think we could possibly take another leg up. Here's what I would recommend on space because I do think it's worthwhile buying it. Now, I wouldn't buy it at this level, but what I would do here, what I would do is consider setting and I'm going to put this up here for uh, S SPCE. I would consider setting a buy stop order for 55. There we go. And the stop would be 55.10. So here's what I'd recommend on space. I'm currently out of it. If you're not in it, I think there may be another re-entry point, and that's right about here at, and I'm going to put this up at about 55. Okay, so that's about right here is where I would re-enter it, but I wouldn't re-enter it I wouldn't just buy it. What I would do is I would just set this buy stop limit order. The stop price is 55, and the limit price is 55.10. And here's why this is a good move. And the reason this is a good move is because we want to see it punch through that 55 level before it goes higher, because I do think it possibly will go as high as 62. I think it's potentially going as high as 62 here. So this would be a way that you could get in on it. Now, I don't want to buy it now because I think that it's going to readjust a little bit. But stocks they don't move straight up. They kind of just go to a level, they pop through, and then they go higher. So using this buy stop limit order can be a very good way to play it. It really can. I mean, it really can do a very, very good way to play it and make sure that you get in on some of the on some of the upside potential. And the question here from Navat is how high will this go? Who knows how high it'll go? But if you use the buy stop limit order, you don't have to figure that out. You let the market figure that out for you. So that's can be a very good way to do that. All right, question from Jeet. Thank you very much. Let's look at TTD. Of course, this is the trade desk. This is a very interesting company, and it's split. I did have a split 10 for 1. I did have a split trade on this one, and it worked out pretty good. But I haven't done anything really with it. Been more concentrated on Nvidia, at least for a while, because that was sort of the one that I was looking at. But it does appear that we have a flagging pattern here, at least on the daily pattern. That's not really enough time to say, but it looks as if this thing may be moving once again higher, especially if there's more investment in this area. So let's draw the reversal line. And of course, as you can see, these numbers, you're like, well, Jim, why are these numbers so low? Well, it's split for 10 for 1. That's why. So I'm drawing this reversal line, and let's see if I can get a reversal line on that. Okay, let's see if it'll give me the ability to do that reversal line. So I'm going to set an alert on that reversal line. And basically, I do think we're moving above the reversal line. So potentially, this could be another buy. But here's what I'd like to do on this one. I'm not interested in buying it at this level. I want to see it move above on a split adjusted basis. I want to see it move above about 92. And the reason I do is because this is the local high. Okay, so this is the local high. So here's what I would do on TTD. I would set a buy stop limit order on TTD, but I would set it at a higher level. And where I would set it, and let's see if I can put this up here. Let's go down here. Okay, so I would set a buy stop limit order on TTD. Let's see. So TTD, here's what I would do. I would set a buy stop limit order and the stop I would put on this one would be 92.11. Oops. And then the limit I would put on this one would be 92.21. All right. And here's why I would do that. So let me kind of show you my strategy on this one. This is definitely showing a lot of strength. Look at this relative strength line. It's 72. We're seeing a lot of buying above the average, which is extremely good. So Here's how I would play this one. I would set a buy stop limit order, and the price that I would put on this one, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put, I want to make sure, I want to see it go above 92.11. So 92.11 is where I'm going to set my alert here. I want to see it move above that, and then if it moves above that convincingly, then I want to buy it 10 cents above that. So for TTD, I would set a buy stop limit order 92.11 with a stop at 92.21. So that kind of gives you an idea there about how I would trade TDD. I think TDD definitely has more to run, so definitely something is good. Something good there. Let's see if I have another question. Nvidia. Oh yeah. Invite another host. Don't know if I want to do that right now. Let's look at Neo. Neo. This is coming from TikTok. Neo has made a move finally, and I think it might be getting to the point where it could actually is actionable. It is still. I still don't want to be really doing it. It is above it is above the reversal line that I played here, but I still want to see it move up into. And I don't know if it can get this high, but I think I want to move it. I want it to move a little bit higher. So what I'm going to do here is let's see if I can put some trend lines on there, so we can kind of see kind of what we need to do there. So let's put some trend lines in. Let's see if I've got that one. No, did I get the trend line? Nope. I guess it didn't. Well, I'll just make the trend lines myself. Okay, so basically this is the bottom trend line. And all I'm doing here, everybody, is I'm just kind of drawing the channel. Okay, so based on the oscillations here, I'm seeing this as being the channel. Now, I do expect Neo to move up a little bit more and then reverse. And it seems like it's in this channel, at least for right now. Now, the resistance point is right here at 57.20. So we could possibly move up to about that level. So here's what I would do. I really think that it's too early to buy Neo right now based on this chart. I want to see it move above about 54.37 or possibly 57.20 before I want to buy it. Why? Because right now, this stock has what they call a lot of overhead supply. And what that is that there were people that bought it here and they didn't sell, you see. And so every time it goes up a little bit, then they're going to be selling. So in order to get rid of that overhead supply problem, we really need to see it move up to about 57.20 before we can buy it. So I would not be a buyer of Neo at this point. I wouldn't. Now, Tesla might be another option. Above about 680 on Tesla, I think we might have something. We might be in a much better shape on that. So there you go. All right. Facebook. Let's look at Facebook. Yeah. Well, Facebook. That's it. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Let's look at Facebook. See how it's trading, and see if we can come up with. Yeah, it's definitely gapped up. You're absolutely correct. It's moved up there very, very nicely. Facebook's moved up there very, very nicely above 350. The question is it viable there? No, it is what they call extended. Unfortunately, the top that we can really buy Facebook at, unfortunately, let's get the so here's the thing. I wouldn't buy Facebook above about 321, and the reason I wouldn't, even though it's doing very, very well right now, is because it is what they call extended. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, we always want to buy at when it's moving beyond essentially a floor, and the last floor for Facebook was about 304. So Facebook is very, very interesting, but I would not buy it at this level because it's extended. All right. Federal drugs dismissed. Okay, I can see why it goes up. Well, they did, but I think there'll be other lawsuits on Facebook. I think the thing about Facebook is, if there's a change in administration, I think we're looking at antitrust for Facebook. So I'd be a little bit careful right now. It's a bit extended. It's a good stock. I've traded it, but I just think right now you know, we have to be a little bit more careful with Facebook right now. So it's just, but I really appreciate that. Now, Pinterest is a different story. Pins, thanks Nathan for this. Pins, Pins, is looking really good. This is a very good chart, by the way. This is a very good chart. This is a classic double bottom. All right. So can we buy Pinterest at this level? Well, you know what? I think we can. I think it's buyable right now. I truly believe that that Pinterest pins is buyable right now. Yeah, I do, and so this is something, you know, that I think this is definitely a good pattern. This is an excellent pattern. We can definitely buy it here. This is a good level to get in because everything is looking very very good on this chart. We've got and this is something that we ought to consider possibly Pinterest because this one could be a monster. This one Pinterest could be a monster. And you know what? I didn't get in on Pinterest the last time around, but I think that this one could be, this time around, I think this one could be unbelievably great. So, thank you so much for that question. That's an excellent question because, so we definitely want to put Pinterest on our list. Thank you. Thank you, Nathan. That is very, very good. All right, let's look at Fastly. So, FSLY, Fastly, and look at it. Okay, this one is still not ready to go for, in my opinion. It definitely has reversed, but I'm a little bit concerned. Oops, we got Pinner. I need to take that banner down. There we go. With Fastly, I think it has reversed, but I think it's a little bit weak. I think you're better off with Pinterest. To be honest with you, I think you're better off with it than Fastly. The thing about Fastly is I don't like to buy anything below the I don't like to buy anything below the 200-day moving average. So I just don't think Fastly is viable right now. That's just my take on it. So unlike Pinterest, I think for Fastly, FSLY is not viable right now. So that's kind of how I view it with Fastly. It's just below this 200-day moving average. I think this is not a good place to buy it, just because I think we just need to see some more strength. And I appreciate the question very, very much, but I do believe this is not a good place to buy Fastly. It just isn't a good place to buy it right now. All right, so let's see. Why is Bitcoin jumping today? Okay, well first of all, let's take a look at this. And what I do is I use a proxy for Bitcoin, and that is the GBTC. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. GBTC is the symbol for it, and it's an ETF. And yes, it's up a little bit, but we still have a downward trend. Now, why do I keep looking at the GBTC? Well, the reason I do is because it's going to show us an overall trend, and we're still in a downward trend overall for Bitcoin. Now, we have improved a little bit here. The relative strength line has moved up a little bit, but it's still in a downward trend. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin price and see, see why it's jumping around so much. So I'm just going to go to Bitcoin price. And I don't think this is the right time. Okay, so it improved a little bit. Definitely did. Bitcoin has improved a little bit. This is the 1 month chart. Let's look at the 5-day chart. Yeah, okay, so we seem to have, we are seeing a little bit of resistance right about 35,000, and we're right up there. So I do think that we're going to see this thing trade lower probably by the end of the week. I do think we're going to see this thing trade lower a little bit by the end of the week. That's what I'm seeing. There's essentially, Bitcoin is in a channel right now from about 30,000 to to about 35,000. But it is in a downward trend overall. So not a good time probably to be initiating new positions in Bitcoin. But if you've been in a while, it's still good. I kind of want to show you that again. See, this is the year chart. Oops, didn't put it up there right. Let me show you the year chart on that one. Let's put it up there. See if we can. I just kind of want to go over the Bitcoin prices. There we go. And I think you can see this, hopefully. So on the daily chart, we have, we're definitely, we're bumping right up about this 35,000 level, but we're staying within that. On the 5-day chart, as you can see, that 35,000 is a very important number. It basically, the range is between 30 and 35. Now, but the thing about, and this is one of the things I think you have to be very careful about, the overall trend of Bitcoin, at least from April, has been downward. So until we break that trend, I'm not a buyer, basically. I want to see an upward trend. Again, I always try to buy an upward trend, and the reason I do is because that way I can move higher with the market. The problem with buying in a downward trend, that's what they call on the street, that's what they call catching a falling knife. We just don't want to do that. Currently, the trend of Bitcoin is downward. I want to see Bitcoin move above, about 50,000 before I'm interested in it once again. So that's kind of the situation here. I wish I could see the charts. Absolutely. Here's the thing. You can easily see the charts. All you have to do is go to my profile, click on the link, and then you can jump over to see the charts. I'm running the YouTube feed on that, so I can't unfortunately show the charts on TikTok, but I can. But they are being broadcast on YouTube. So just go to my profile, click on the link, scroll all the way down, and you'll get right to the YouTube page. So thank you for that. Thank you for that comment on TikTok. All right, let's go to. Okay, great. James, what's going on with space and SCVL? Thank you. Great. Thank you for the question. Let's look at space, because that's the one that I was in. I actually got stopped out at 53. Did very well on that. On the smart portfolio, we made a very nice gain on it. In the small portfolio. Let's see. Let's go over to. Okay, I've got to bring up the. Yeah, I kind of want. Let me show you the small portfolio right as it stands now, and this is the one we trade every day. This is kind of bring this up. Let's see how that's looking. All right. So we're down a little bit today. I just sold. I just sold. Virgin Galactic. Let me show you that. Let me show you that screen. So basically, I sold Virgin Galactic basically to actually. I held it for 5 days. We were up 18%, or about $420 in this size. Currently, our top performer is Docusign. So I'm getting ready to sell this one too. I'll wait for it to pull back, but I'll just keep pushing my stop loss up. Also, this other one is doing very, very well. I'm going to increase my position in this one. It's a Koki and Sofa. The symbol on this one, I think I can. Yeah. It's KL. I have to get the correct one. Let me go to the symbols here. Yeah, it's this is one you might want to consider possibly doubling up on. It's a equipment. It's an equipment maker for the semiconductor area. And let's see, what's the symbol? KKK. There we are. Okay, so this is one that we might want to look at as well. Gosh, gracious, gracious. HIJKL. Come on. There we go. KLAC. We want to try to look at this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the the charts again, and let's look at KLAC. This is one that we might want to kind of take a look at. This has been doing very well. I've had it for a few days, and I do think it's possibly at a point where it could be added to. So uh, KLIC, it's essentially a semiconductor company. I definitely think this is one you want to look at. I really do. It's a $63 stock. It's excellent. It's a little bit extended here, okay, but I do think that really it's buyable right at this level, and I think this is definitely one you want to look at. The symbol on this one is KLIC, and it's kind of sure it's a steady Freddy company. As you can see, this relative strength line is excellent. It's 95. It's just, this is looking very good. This is a very good chart. It's a good time to possibly double up on the position here. I'm going to be buying more of this tomorrow, more than likely, if it holds here. This is one I'm going to probably be buying. So, and I'll show you in my short portfolio, in my small portfolio, a little bit on it. But I think this one is very, very good. I also think that one that you want to look at possibly again is Roku, ROKU. That's another one that I think is just very, very good right now. All right, so let's look at Pinterest. I think we talked a little bit about Pinterest. That was great. SSYS. Let's look at SSYS. Take a look at that. And see how that's Stratasys manufactures desktop 3D printers. You know what? I'd be careful on this one. I really would. Yeah, I know that we've seen an uptick in the relative strength, which is great. But I think that we got to be a little bit concerned about this one. It is trading above the 200-day line, SSYS, but I just wouldn't be a buyer on this one. I just wouldn't be a buyer. It went all the way up here to 56. I want to see a higher high. I'm not as psyched on it. Let's look at the checklist. The checklist is good. 66 is not a bad checklist, but I can't recommend this one, Real Madrid. I wish I could. I wish I could. I think, the reason I know a little bit about this area, this is an area that basically, HP tried this area really hard. It didn't work for them as well. So I think you got to be a little bit careful on this one. What I would do is I would recommend possibly looking at KLIC instead. KLIC instead. That's the one I think that you might want to kind of look at. I definitely think it's a little extended, but I think that that's one you might want to look at. So take a look at KLIC. So take a look at that one right now. I mean, I think that one might be. Oops, not Yake. Take a look at KLAC instead of SSYS. I think SSYS. It's a good idea, but I just don't think it's going to be the right one. All right, let's look at space. Okay, let's look at Virgin Galactic, and I just kind of want to get an idea on this one. And with Virgin Galactic SPCE. Again, I was sold. I was stopped out at 53 on this, so I kind of want to see how it's trading. I think it's trading in a fairly tight range. I'm going to go to the 15-minute chart. As you can see, we have a little bit of a resistance right here at about 58, and we have a floor at about 52. So that's the reason I had my stop loss right here. I'm going to reactivate that. That's the reason I had my stop loss right here, because I felt that was kind of where I could take profit. And as you can see, we've had a little bit of profit taking here. So what I think is going to happen, there's a lot of range between 40 and 55. So I probably would not buy this until it moves above about 58. The reason is I want to see it continue on up. Now it may pull back a little bit as well. So right now, I was a seller right at 53. I think it's going to readjust probably down to about the $40 level, and then we may get another bite at the apple. But for right now, I think with Virgin, I think it's going to be kind of going to be in this little range here for a while, and it may pull back as low as 40. it may pull back as low as 40. So there is support. I think right about 40. I think this is a little bit ambitious here, but I do think it's eventually going to go up even higher. About to 62 is where I think it may go. And it may actually go higher than that. We don't know that. But right now, I think you got to be careful, with it. That's how I play a lot of these stocks. If they move up quickly, I'm in them because I do the buy stop limit, and I come right into the stock, and then as it moves up, I push up that stop loss, and then when it pulls back, I take the profit. So that's sort of how I like to play them. All right. Question on Tesla. Very, very good question. Raphael, thank you much for that. TSLA. This was my biggest stock last year. I think a lot of people did great in this one. I definitely did. It's forming a little bit of a tight pattern. So let's go to the 15-minute chart to see. Yeah, it definitely has a little bit of tight pattern between about the 670 and about 690. Now, I do think it's viable above about 680. I think it's doable above about 680, but I do think that we want to be careful with Tesla because it needs, I think, a little bit more power for it to go higher. I think it really needs this is the reversal line here, so you can see on the annotated chart, and it's moved above that, but there's still some, there's kind of a little bit of a ceiling here from about 680 on up to about 700. So I'm currently not a buyer, but I'm looking to possibly put a spread in. But I want to see it. I want to see it move really above about 700, 720 before I do the spread because I want to see it give a little bit more power before it goes there. So hopefully, yeah, there we go. So hopefully that is a good answer. All right, so here we go. Jim, how much do you need in your account to cover the trade? The butterfly? Thank you, Stuart. Well, basically, you have to have, and this is a good question, by the way, and I'm going to put out this trade hopefully on the action trade alerts tonight. I'm probably gonna try to do it in a little bit more detail. What you do is you need the ability to borrow this much money, so you have to have what they call a level 3 account to do options, and it can't be an IRA, unfortunately. I wish it could be. It has to be a level 3 account. You're going to need to do this trade. It's about a $1,600 trade. Probably, if you're asking this question, you probably don't have enough to do it in there right now. I'm going to try to give some trades that are a little bit less expensive than this one. The only reason I did this trade is I think it has some particularly good opportunity based on the way it's traded. But you really need about at least $5,000 in the account, and because you have to have the ability to borrow at least 25, well, about $1,600. Okay, so if you had 100% of stock in there, it's 50% marginable, so that you would have to have credit of about 1,650 to do that trade. So maybe what you should do is put some trades that are a little bit less costly, unfortunately, to get into. So that might be a good way to go there. Let's look at Jeet for CWH. Let's see if I can come in with that one. CWH. Let's see. Camping World. And this has been great stock, by the way. This is really in a reversal. This is basically reversed higher. So this is the kind of thing that you're looking at. It looks as if, we have this pattern where we're getting this consolidation. We've come down, we've bounced, we're moving back up, looking very nice. It's setting up very nicely. It's above the 200-day line, which is very nice. Still, I would like to see a little bit more strength because the 10-day line is below the 21-day line. So that tells me that even though we've had these multiple days of improvement in price, it looks like it's probably going to pull back probably in a day or two to about the 10-day line level. So let's take a look to see kind of where it's at. So the 10-day line currently is about 36. So here's the thing: I probably would Wait a little bit, see if this pulls back to 36 and reverses. Then I think that might be a good one. But I like the company, and I like the area that it's in. This is a good group. I would be a little bit. For some reason, this is in the retail wholesale automobile group, which I don't agree with, but that's where it is. Let's take a look at some of the. Let's kind of take a deep dive on some of the sectors to see where we're seeing, where we're seeing the best action. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is what I'm doing here is I'm going to the industry groups and looking at the ranks of stocks. So there we go. Okay, so we should get there. We go. All right. Yep. Okay. So these are areas that I kind of want to to highlight as to what is doing the best. Currently, oil and gas is number one still. There's 60 stocks in there. But we've talked a lot about that, and it's down a little bit today. Where I'm really interested is this retail apparel area, the shoes and accessories. For some reason, retail when it does in this retail leisure products. Let's look at the retail for fun. Let's look at the retail leisure products, and this gives us the entire the entire look at it. So I want to see what's trending in this area. What are the top stocks? Well, Pool Corp is number one, and this has been doing great. Sportsman's Warehouse, Dick's Sporting Goods. I kind of missed Pool, unfortunately. It's been doing great, but it looks as if this one might be what we want to take a look at. And this is Sportsman's Warehouse. This is a very inexpensive stock, by the way, and I kind of want to look at the weekly chart. It looks like it's setting up. Yeah, it's looking like it's setting up extremely well. So this is one that you might want to look at. It's called Sportsman's Warehouse. Now, here's the thing with Sportsman's. I was looking at this one a while back, and SPWH. This one is very close to its all-time high. It's the only thing about this has a relatively weak relative strength at 40, and it does appear to be moving lower, but it does look like this one could be actionable very, very soon if it breaks through this pivot at 1846. So here's one I want, probably want to watch list. This one is Sportsman's Warehouse Holdings, and it's a very inexpensive stock. It's only it's a $17 stock, but it's in a very good area. Now, I wouldn't buy it at this level. I would wait for it to move higher, but I think that this one might be the kind of stock that you want to look. It's the number 2 stock in this very, very good area, this leisure products area, which has been doing so well. And I just kind of want to go back here and kind of look at everything in this area. So I did have a very nice spread trade on Marine Max earlier in the earlier, and but I do think the Sportsman's Warehouse may be something to look at. Let's look at all the stocks in the group. Sportsman's is a relatively small company, so here's the thing: it's larger than Big Five, and of course it's much bigger than Build-A-Bear Warehouse. I've been kind of looking in this area to see, kind of what's working here. I do have a position in Build-A-Bear Warehouse, and it's down a little bit today, but it's kind of spiking down. We'll see about this one, but this is one that we might want to kind of look at. It's called Sportsman's Warehouse, and that might be one that you might want to look. But don't buy it immediately. Don't buy it. It needs to move above about 1850 in order to be a buy. So that's probably the way to go. Okay, so let's look at Voyager. What do you think of Voyager? Oh, is this Voyager? I don't know this one, Blake. You have a famous name, Blake Edwards, famous director. VYGVG. Let's see what happens here. Nope, I don't see that one. Unfortunately, I don't see Voyager. Unfortunately, I don't see it. Let's look at Torch Energy, TRCH, and of course, this is one of the ones I recommended. TRCH, and oil's been a little bit down as of late. TRCH, is that right? TRCH. Let's go there. Okay. Let me see. I don't. Okay. Let's see. Let me get the actual symbol for torch. Get that correct. And that's of course in the oil and gas group. Let's go in there. There we go. And we're going to look at torch energy. Da 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 da. Scroll down there a little bit. All right. Going to look at torch. There's about 60 in this group, so that's the reason why I am. All right. Should have it for you in a second here. Well, I don't seem to have it. Sorry, I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you. All right, sorry about that. Let's look at CRM. Of course, that is CRM. Of course, is Salesforce, and I've traded Salesforce several times in the past. Currently, not in a position in Salesforce. It's sort of in this. It's sort of in this kind of funk here. Here's the thing about Salesforce. It's not a particularly good group right now. Computer Software Enterprise is unfortunately not doing as well as I'd like it to. It's 157 out of 197. So this is not an area that this is not probably I would probably not be in this one just based on that. I think I want to be in an area that's doing a little bit better than this. Now, there are some standout stocks that are in the technology space, but I don't think that it's CRM, at least not right now. I don't think it's one of them. So I would probably not, I'd watch this one, but I probably would not be in this one, unfortunately. I just wouldn't be in it right now. Let's look at BPOP. Thanks, Luis. Appreciate it. BPOP. And that's Popular. Hey, Banco Popular. This is a terrific. Luis, this is a great bank. By the way, Santander Consumer is another one that you might want to look at. They're actually based here in Dallas, but Banco Popular is based in Puerto Rico. That's where their headquarters is, and it is a tremendously good bank. I do like Banco Popular, and it is definitely doing very well. It's 27 out of 197. This is definitely in a buy zone right now. So I do think that we are in a place where we could definitely look at adding this one. I definitely think so. They had excellent earnings. I'm not a big fan of the banks, but I like Banco Popular. I have to say, I like Banco Popular, and right now it's in a buy zone. It's it's buyable, but above 75.16 on up to I think about 77. Let's see. Okay, it's buyable on from about 75.16 to 79.03. So very good. Very good. And this is definitely something that I definitely would recommend. Definitely would recommend. If you want to get exposure to the banking, this is Banco Popular based in San Juan. Very good. Very good stock. All right, we're almost at the end here. I'm sorry I've spent probably too much time on some and not on the others. There's always so many great stuff to look at. Let's look at AMD. AMD is a stock that I have never really done all that well on, but it's a great stock. So right now it's pulled above the 200-day moving average. This is a very bullish sign, but I still don't want to buy this one. And why? Because the relative strength is so low. This is 53 on a scale of 99. So I don't think this is working. This is in the semiconductor fabless area. I want to show you in this area. I want to show you how much difference it makes as to buying the leader versus not. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to kind of show you why I wouldn't buy AMD and why I'm all over and why I'm all over Nvidia. So let's go down here to the let's go back here to my list. All right, I'm going to go. Let's see. Okay, industry group ratings. There. No, that's the rating. Okay, I want to see the rankings. So let's go back here to the groups, and let's go to the rankings, and let's go to the semiconductor fabless, which is 79 currently out of 197. So let's go to 79. Let's get that up here. Well, let's do it this way. Here we go. Okay, so let's go to 79 all the way down here. There we go. And this is the this is the fabless semis. And I'm going to look and see Nvidia, as you can see, is number one. Here we go. It's number one in terms of its market cap. So I like leaders. Now the second one I'd look at is Broadcom, AVGO. That's the other, and then Qualcomm. AMD is doing well, but it's much smaller. It's 1/5 the size of Nvidia. So the ones that I'm looking at are either Nvidia or Broadcom. Let's look at Broadcom because we've talked a little bit about Nvidia. Now Broadcom is still in this kind of funky consolidation. I wouldn't buy Broadcom unless it went above about 495. So if looking at the fabless area, really, I think you got to look at Nvidia, even though it's the most expensive stock. Why? Because it's doing the best. That's just the way it is. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for bearing with me and my problems with my bandwidth. Hopefully, I get that better. Just see if I can take one more question here. Oh, this is a great question. Thank you so very much. Where do we find the Discord link so we can open in our mobile apps? Wow, very good question. You have to join the private Discord. You do have to join the private Discord, and it is a private chat. But the easiest way to do that is to come over and go to go to Vinny at www.vinny.com/u. Put that U in there. Dallas Trading Floor, and that should take you right to the site. So that's probably the best way to do it. If you want to get on the action trade alerts, super easy to do also, and that is at www.sinfox.com/Dallas for this is the pay site, vinny.com/u/Dallas34, and the other one is this is the free one. And we're probably going to be putting out some content tonight on the butterfly trade on Nvidia. So hopefully you will sign up for that. Hopefully they'll go out a little bit later, so you definitely want to get signed up if you're not already signed up. And so until tomorrow at 2:30, thanks so much for watching. I'll be back, and I'll be back with some more stuff, more questions. And let's see if I have one more. Let's see. All right, thank you so much. Okay, so I will be back tomorrow at about 2:30, everybody. And thanks again for taking a look, and I will see you mañana.